White Americans. See, every single time, you people have to be dealing with one thing or the other. So a lot of them would like to come in a different form, in a different shape. And honestly, I really did not understand where this madness is coming from. So right now, they are no longer saying that Black Americans don't have culture. They are no longer saying that, oh, Black Americans, where are you from? They're no longer saying that, what is your language? They're no longer saying, go back to Africa. So what they are saying right now is Black Americans literally stole white people's culture. I honestly do not know where this white woman that slept to wake up, set up her camera, pick up her mic to talk. I honestly do not know where she got her own idea from. I honestly do not know where she got her information from. But you guys know the way we roll on this place. The first thing I will do, I will roll out the clip so that you guys will literally listen to what she said. What an adult, what a matured woman that don't even understand the system of America have to say. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And guys, with that being said, let's dive right into this video. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go.
But if we're gonna use your logic, Black American culture, what is it, y'all? Entirely stolen from white people. Like I said in another video, Cuban culture is more closely tied to, related to, similar to African culture and Africa than Black American culture is. You guys are far removed from Africa. Your entire culture is white people culture that you've adopted and made your own, because that's how culture works.
And you consider American culture, the foundation came from Black people. Whether it's the music, the slang, food, fashion, sports, resilience. Hell, if you think America is racist, you can't have racism without Black people. So anything you consider American culture is Black American culture, period. Think I'm lying? Imagine America without the influence of Black Americans. What are you left with? Yeah. Hell, imagine TikTok without the influence of Black Americans. Yeah. American culture is Black American culture, period. And I stand on that.
Seriously, I'm gonna keep saying this until I die. American culture is Black American culture. It just gets filtered out and watered down and whitewashed until they can give credit to a white guy. Jazz, country, rock and roll, rap, all Black American creation. And then you want to move to the protest side. Bro, not only did Black Lives Matter spark actual other things like Asian Lives Matter and Queer Lives Matter and Trans Lives Matter, but on the flip side, when racist assholes were trying to say, well, Blue Lives Matter, through humanity, what happened is it translated into less of a sarcastic thing and more into a genuine, like, support your nurses and firefighters and EMTs. So even the people who might be the most discriminatory, they gotta think of Black American for their own fucking views.
Say we have no culture with your real accent, not the one you borrowed from us. Not only do we have our culture, the whole entire world copies it, and we know it. So let's not play pretend. We've been the source code. Be honest. Not offended.
Saying that Black culture is just a Black American thing is so offensive. I told myself,
someone took the time to download this and send it to me. This woman blocked me about a year, 2 years ago for trying to explain to her what she did not want to accept. That Black culture is Black American culture, ethnic Black American culture. That's what it is, okay? So inside the video, she's basically saying that, oh my gosh, it's so offensive. It's so offensive. How is it? It's so offensive to say that black culture is only black American culture. Well, it actually is. Okay, so I want you to read this. Absolutely no specific. You can go all throughout the continent of Africa. Honestly, you can. And nowhere in their history did they name their cultures, their specific cultures, black culture. Nowhere. Okay? No ethnic group there. None. Zero. There is no black culture in Africa. There is none. Find it. There is no specific black culture in Africa. There is none. Okay? You can go to the Caribbean. There is none. Okay? There is none. Her issue is she's over here in the United States of America. I'm assuming she still is. Okay? And we say black culture because that's the name of our specific culture. It's been that way. Okay? It's been that way. We did not take into account Africa or the Caribbean, and we did not shade them either. We did not do that. We did not take into account everybody around the globe because we are not a monolith just because of our race. We are not a monolith, okay? We did not say, okay, we're going to we didn't take it upon ourselves to name everybody around the globe black culture. We don't even know. We did when this was going on, we didn't know anybody else's culture. This was ours in the United States of America. We cannot help it if a lot of people move over here. That is a personal choice. When you get here, you hear black culture. And for some reason you assume that it is yours too. It's not. Take the time to listen and stop arguing. To say that it's offensive, how is it offensive when our black culture is way more recent than anybody's in Africa? How does it offend you that black Americans' culture is black culture? How is that offensive when you already have a plethora of cultures in Africa? How does it offend you that 400 something odd years later, black Americans say black culture, then all of a sudden it offends you? How? What? That makes absolutely no sense. I've put this up before. There was a Nigerian scholar. When she moved into the United States of America, she understood that it had nothing to do, black culture has nothing to do with your melanation. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with my ethnicity. Okay? Because black to black Americans is our ethnicity. So how does my ethnicity offend you? This is what she blocked me for. How on earth does my ethnicity offend you when you already have an ethnicity? That's like me saying, oh, I'm offended because you are Zulu. Because just because. It is our ethnicity. Just like Igbo culture is Igbo culture. Haitian culture is Haitian culture. It's named after their ethnicity, right? Black culture is named after our ethnicity here in the United States of America. Yeah, that's what it is. But for some reason, many people in the diaspora are trying to rearrange something that, no, you can't rearrange that. Just like your parents and their parents have a culture named after their ethnicity, ours is named after ours. Okay? Ours is black culture. That can't be offensive. If it is, you have a problem. Here's some more reading. Because clearly,
Y'all, I don't think the world understands that Black America got so much culture that it's a different version of it in every single state. A different way that they eat, a different way that they talk, a different way that they cook, a different accent, different way that they dance, a different way that they make music. It's so much drip and so much culture that other Black Americans travel to other states just so they can experience other Black Americans' cultures that's different from their Black American culture that they have created in their state. It's so much. It's so crazy how much culture and tradition Black Americans have. You know, I don't think the world appreciated enough. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy.
Seriously, I'm going to keep saying this until I die. American culture is Black American culture. It just gets filtered out and watered down and whitewashed until they can give credit to a white guy. Jazz, country, rock and roll, rap, all Black American creation. And then you want to move to the protest side. Bro, not only did Black Lives Matter spark actual other things like Asian Lives Matter and Queer Lives Matter and Trans Lives Matter, but on the flip side, when racist assholes were trying to say, well, Blue Lives Matter, through humanity, what happened is it translated into less of a sarcastic thing and more into a genuine, like, support your nurses and firefighters and EMTs. So even the people who might be the most discriminatory, they gotta think of Black American for their own fucking views.
Black culture is American culture. As an Indian man that was born and raised in America, I'm telling you right now, every aspect of American culture, sports, fashion, art, music, all of it, it's all Black culture. Black culture is American culture. This superior race bullshit that's being spewed right now, that's what it is. It's just bullshit. Because if you take away your money, you take away your business, you take away your influence, it all collapses. The American economy will collapse without you. Some of the single most greatest inventions that were created in America were by Black people. I'm just tired of this like narrative that like, oh, people are too ghetto. Oh, people are this and people are that. You'd be nothing without them. You'd be nothing without them. And this isn't just for like my Black friends. This is like for all minorities. They would be nothing without you. And another thing, stop supporting these corporations that literally disrespect you on a daily basis.
People think Black Americans have no culture because our cultural characteristics are popular. When people think of culture, they think of something that's mysterious or elusive, damn near something that you have to read about in a book or something. It's like something that's not immediately apparent to those who are not a part of the culture and therefore have to be explained or introduced to someone who's an outsider. For Black Americans, our cultural music, like hip hop, rap, R&B, blues, rock and roll, gospel, country, etc., that's everyone's popular music. Our dialect is co-opted all the time and described as Gen Z / millennials / internet / TikTok speak. Our dances are used in popular video games and circulated all around social media. Because you guys like the things that we create on a global scale, it loses the mystery that we often ascribe to culture. And this is no fault of our own. We can't help that you all like the way that we express ourselves. But to make egregious statements like Black people have no culture, all while people in small villages across the world are dressed in streetwear, have a favorite rapper, and know exactly who Michael Jackson or Beyonce is odd, to say the least.
Okay, if there's one thing about me, it's that I'm very protective of my people and our culture. And there's something that I need to get off my chest. A lot of what gets labeled as popular culture today is actually Black American culture. And most people don't even realize how much of it they consume. And it's not just white folks, it's everybody. And when I say Black American, I'm speaking about the descendants of the enslaved and free Africans that were here before it became the United States and prior to the major immigration waves of the 20th century. We are a distinct ethnic group with our own history, our own language patterns, and our own cultural production, not just Black people who happen to be in America. And there are so many examples that I can reference that demonstrates this. But I'll just start with like a very small one, something that I see happening on this app all the time. My typical experience is I'll open up, the comment section on a particular video, and I see people saying things like "it's giving" or "clock it" or "for real" or "beat for real." And I know that most of the people that are saying those things don't even realize they're using Black American English, and that language didn't get invented on this app. This app learned it from Black Americans. Words like woke were in the Black American community long before they became just political buzzwords. People copy the rhythm of our speech, our call and response patterns, and the way we both stress and flip meaning. In the southern regions of the United States, Black people made up a massive portion, and at times the majority, of the southern population. Research shows that southern white dialects were greatly influenced by Black American speech. But when it comes time to crediting the origin of those Southern white dialects, instead of giving credit to Black American English, they'll typically frame it as just general Southern American English. That's erasure. And like I said, this isn't just limited to white people doing this. Black immigrants and people across the diaspora consume Black American culture, our music, language, fashion, and films. They grew up listening to our hip hop, they quote our movies, they remix our language. But it's an issue because it's treated as just something that was pulled from the mainstream rather than what it actually is, a specific ethnic culture. And sometimes it's a situation of where the call is coming from inside the house, where the erasure is actually coming from within the Black American community. Some of us were conditioned to see our own culture as less than, as unprofessional, too loud, too much. So when other groups imitate or try to monetize off of it, instead of speaking up and saying something, there's silence. When you're taught that your culture is valuable, defending it becomes harder. So for me, this isn't so much about gatekeeping. Culture spreads, that's normal. The issue is with attribution. And when you start tracing where these trends come from, music, language, humor, style, more often than not, you will find that it moved through Black American culture first.
Black American culture is not secondary in the United States of America. I'm starting off with this because some British Black people, one of them in particular who was talking about Black American culture, and a lot of other people around the globe believe that Black American culture is secondary in the United States of America. It's not. When you look, if you want to see America truly how it is, first off, let me talk about history for a minute. Okay? History always needs to be updated. So whatever you learned in elementary school or in high school, it needs to be updated. There is a resistance to updating history books because it alters the Eurocentric view. It alters one view of history. Okay? But in reality, history must always be updated because new facts are discovered. Okay? New things are learned that changes the whole game. Okay? What you knew in elementary school, high school, and even college more than likely has changed because of the update. However, like I said before, in the United States of America, as well as other nations, they rarely like to go back and update it. So basically, the stuff you knew is old. Okay? So now let me continue. This goes back to understanding that Black culture, Black American culture, is not secondary in the United States of America. When, if you want to learn history properly when it comes to the United States of America, you have to split that thing three ways. Okay? Because there were three different foundational peoples to the United States of America. Three. Okay? When I say the United States of America, I'm talking about the country. No, the United States was not always here. I'm talking about the country. There are three foundational people to the United States of America. Okay? That's Black Americans, white Americans, indigenous Americans. Okay? Unfortunately, the globe, when they say America, they think white. Okay? So when that Black British lady was talking about Black America, it was as if she was making it secondary. A secondary thing. Because she says the only reason why Black culture is global is because America pushed it. She means white America. And that narrative is false. I said it in my stitched video. I'm going to repeat it real quick. The reason why that is false is because, number one, white America, quote unquote, did not push Black American culture. It did not. Okay? They did not do that. With white America and Black America, we grew up at the same time. Okay? There's nothing secondary about Black American culture and white American culture. There's no, same time. Okay? Black American culture was seen and adored by Europeans, and Europeans wanted Black American culture to be known in Europe. That is how it started going global. Okay? And I proved that in the Stitch video. Okay? Everything in the United States does not go global simply because America is a superpower. Okay? So America being a superpower does not mean that that's the reason why Black American culture is global. If that were the case, as I said in my Stitch video, if that were the case, everything American would be loved, adored, and used and global. It is not. Okay? It is not. Many things in America are hated. Okay? So don't make, by saying that, you're trying to make Black American culture, you're trying to make Black culture secondary. It's not secondary. White America and Black America grew up together. It's not secondary to America, as you say it, white America. It's not secondary. Okay? So once you get that straight, you can then learn this. And this is part 2. People wanted the new world cultures because the old world was old, established, and already known in their eyes, in their perspectives. This is why Europeans absolutely fell in love with Black culture. And when I say Black culture, do understand I'm talking Black American culture. This is why they fell in love with Black culture. It was of the new world. They had already seen, heard everything of from Asia to Europe and Africa. They had already seen it, heard it, everything. Okay? Remember, Africa had already been trading with them. They knew each other from a long, long way back. Everything was already Europe knew Asia they all knew each other. Okay? From old way back. Okay? But the new world. What would come of the new world? So, they was sick of just the European vibe. They were sick of it. It was old. It was old. So, and this also was felt in Africa. Everything was old. In Asia as well, everything was old. So when the new world, okay, and I'm gonna talk about Black America right now, okay, I'm gonna talk about Black Americans. I'm Black American. When the new world began to rise, and Europeans visited and saw 3 Americas: indigenous, Black, and white. They latched on to Black culture and they fell in love with it because it was something that they had never heard before. It was not treated as something secondary as Black British people, some or in the globe, tend to try and make it today. It wasn't treated as secondary. This is why they wanted it in Europe. They loved the blues, the jazz, all of it, the sound. It wasn't the traditional old world way. From Europe, from Asia or Africa, it wasn't the old world way. This was a new world thing, right? This is why it went global. This is why Black American culture went global, because it is not secondary to anything. It is America. So for any Black British people or any continental Asian people or any continental African people, you must begin to look at the United States in its actual version, okay, in order to understand it better, because you can't make talking points and podcast with false information. When you're talking about America, you can't just invent a theory that you believe and you have not gone back and read Black America or understood Black America or even know Black America. You can't just assume, oh, it's because of this, because your history is off and it's wrong and you're teaching false information. I could go more into this, but it's 10 minutes already.
Up here and disrespect Black Americans all the time. Y'all come over here and disrespect Black Americans all the time. Do you know what's really funny about this? As an Afro-Latina, babe, what do you think Latin culture comes from? Since you can clearly acknowledge, right, that Cuban culture is more closely tied to African culture than it is of the Europeans, right? Because that's what you're really getting at, right? Like, oh, no, we're closely related to Africa. We're not like the Europeans. But the irony is that white Cubans love their whiteness, baby. Love their whiteness. So much so that they absolutely practice racism. So much so that they absolutely will usually deny any of that African heritage until it's time for you to want to be cool, right? Until it's time for you to want to really rep your culture, right? In your own countries, you disrespect the Black people all the time. I know, because I started this off by saying I'm an Afro-Latina. Do you know how many Latinos that look just like this girl go through this whole thing where they first don't want to speak in Spanish to me and I can respond in Spanish and they will literally respond in English, and it's like, I'm speaking to you in Spanish. Hablo español. Like, hi. But no, it's so hard to believe that, right? And then when I do speak Spanish, then what happens? You get the, oh, thank God, she's actually Latina. She's not Black. But I am Black. And I've been Black my whole life. I've been Black my whole life. I have 2 Black parents. One of them speaks Spanish fluently. Or spoke Spanish fluently because he passed away. But again, full Black. Both sides. Black on both sides. And also Latina. The same way that y'all can't stand that Haitians are Latinos. And the only reason that you don't like that Haitians are Latinos is because Haitians are dark skinned. That's it. That's literally the only reason. Because if y'all can literally sit there and fix your mouth to say that they're not Latinos, but Dominicans are Latinos, they literally are on the same island. The island of Hispaniola. That's like me saying people from Long Island are not from New York, but people from Queens are. Babe, it's the same island. And as a Brooklyn girl, Brooklyn is also technically a part of Long Island, but don't say that too loud. But I want to talk about this Black American culture bit for a second, because the fact that you even think that Black culture is white culture that was stolen lets me know enough. Who do you think taught white people to wipe their ass? Quickly. And I know that it has everybody's head in a conundrum, but I really want you to think about this one, okay? You genuinely want me to believe that them white people from Europe came over here and taught niggas how to till the land? We ain't even speak the same language, but you want me to believe that they taught us how to till the land? You think they taught us their culture? And we stole it and then just made it our own? No, baby. I know that cultural assimilation is something that Latinos, especially white Latinos, practice all the time because you're too ashamed to maintain the richness in your culture as is So you prefer to assimilate and to lose some of your culture so that you could be more liked and more palatable by white people. But something that y'all always seem to want to stick to and hold near and dear to when y'all choose to assimilate is to hate black people, because that is white culture. White American culture is steeped and rooted in racism. So the fact that you even think that black people are using white culture that was stolen, no, honey, no, you big fucking jackass. White American culture, quite literally, is stolen culture from black people and natives that were on this land. Country music, black people. Jazz, black people. Pop, black people. Rhythm and blues, black people. And then when we go over to the Latino countries, right? And we talk about the Latino contributions, baby, they came from black people. But y'all don't get to claim that as yours when you benefit and love to align yourselves with the proximity to whiteness and what you believe that will gain you. You don't get to play both sides, honey. That's not how that works. Because to fix your mouth to say that Cubans are more closely related to Africa and the African heritage than black Americans, because black Americans are practicing stolen white culture, is literally insane. You have to be a special kind of stupid. The fact that you could fix your mouth to literally say this proves the point that everybody loves to make when it comes to Latinos. Y'all practice anti-black racism towards black Americans all the time.
Don't pass things on to white people. White people steal those things. That's called cultural appropriation. Bantu knots, along with other types of hairstyles, became popular in the 1500s amongst African slaves in South America. A Bantu knot symbolized that a person was heading towards a mountainous area and signaled other slaves to either follow them, help conceal them, or aid them in some other way. Cornrows are called cornrows because slaves would often take seeds and kernels of corn or various other crops so that they could take them with them to their new settlement and start crops for their own people once they escaped. It's funny, I've been looking at all these pictures and I can't find any with any white people in them. Why do you think that is?
I never made a video on this because I wasn't sure if it was necessary, but the conversation keeps popping up. So I thought I'd take some time to explain why some people still hold the false belief that Black Americans don't have a culture. But first, close your eyes with me for a second and imagine a person that is Ashanti, that is Igbo, that is Bokongo, that is Mandinka. Okay, open your eyes. That's a Black American. That's a lot of powerful ancestry and culture. There are some African Americans that are also the descendants of Native Americans due to the mixing of enslaved Africans and maroon Africans with local Native American populations, though that is often overestimated. There's also the European ancestry that we have that we don't celebrate for obvious reasons, but essentially Black Americans have a culture of cultures and ethnicity of ethnicities. And over time, we became recognized as an overall ethnicity of either African American or Black American, whichever term people prefer to use. So not only do we have culture, we have cultures. And one of the easiest ways to look at the variation of African American cultures is by region. So if you were to look at the way people speak, dress, and eat according to region, you would see a lot of differences between Black folks that live in the Southeast, like me growing up in Georgia and South Carolina, and someone that grew up in the Northeast in New York, or someone from the Southwest in Texas and someone from the Northwest. There would be a lot of differences culturally, but then we would all also belong to the overall African American culture and ethnicity. Now, the reason why someone might have the mistaken belief that we don't have a culture is really due to chattel slavery. Due to the legacy of chattel slavery, almost everything that African Americans create is considered to be something that we don't have ownership over. And it is something that is repeatedly taken and repackaged by mainstream white America. And this happens over and over again. A recent example is the different dances on the Clock app, where people were taking them and getting the credit, but it originated from Black creators. The same thing happened long ago with rock and roll, with legends like Little Richard, but people like Elvis Presley getting the credit, even though he stole everything. So what you are witnessing is not a people that don't have a culture. You've just witnessed repeated cultural theft.
People have an outsized impact on culture. I would argue that they are American culture, right? Every good part of American culture comes originally from Black people. Our economic foundation, if you read The Half Has Never Been Told by Edward Baptiste, it talks about how in the 1800s and the 1900s, we really benefited from heavily subsidized, essentially free labor, right? Slavery's impact cannot be understated in our ability to grow this nation at such a rapid rate. We owe them everything, right? And from slavery, from that comes all of the modern music we love, right? The blues, jazz, all born out of a time when Black people had no hope for the future, right? So they would sing, and all of that became the music that is loved internationally. If you go anywhere in the world, the American music that people are listening to all comes from Black people. I really want people to think long and hard about where this country would be without Black people. Essentially nowhere, right? We definitely wouldn't be cool, right? You wouldn't be able to go to a cafe in Amsterdam or a nightclub in Bangkok and listen to things that are familiar to you. All of that is due to Black people.
Are descendants of slaves really American, though?
Yeah.
What makes them American? Because they've been here.
They've been here, and they've fought in every single war since our country's founding. So yeah, I think people who fought for the soil of our land, regardless of the color of their skin, are more American than people who got here 2 years.
Black Americans have been the trendsetters. Where do the trends come from? From our culture. Okay? So our culture has been setting trends in the United States of America forever. Watch this. The dominant force in this country's pop music is African American. Our white singers have been absorbing Black style for most of the past century. Okay? This was written in 2001. It never stopped. Okay? It never stopped. Look down there with the word Elvis. His emoting, not to mention the many white rockers who have faithfully copied Ray Charles. This is something that white America has always known. It's no secret. I mean, it may be a secret to the rest of the world, but it's not a secret here. Okay? So we've just always set the trend. Any trend that you see, we've set the trend, but it's because of our culture. Again, they stated that they've been absorbing Black style. Absorbing Black style for most of the past century. When you live in a country where you are not the majority, okay, they get to peep in. See what we're doing and then mimic. Okay? And when someone else does it, it becomes a trend. However, when everyone stops playing jazz, we will still play. When everyone still stops singing R&B, we will still do it. Our culture is the soul culture, right? So watch this again. The tradition of whites imitating African Americans continues. It's something that has been going on since we got here, okay? The issue is that the major forces here, they put it out into the world as if it was theirs. It's a tradition for them to look at us and then mimic us and to try and convince the rest of the world that it's theirs. And the rest of the world has been really hoodwinked, okay? Because it's our culture.
When I say I'm pro-Black, I mean pro-Black American. When I say I support Black-owned business, I mean Black American business. Very pro-Black American over here. Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for watching all of that video. And I'm so excited on how some of her white folks were also able to educate her. And I feel like that woman is not even like a white. She's one of those people that is looking for attention when it comes to the white community. You know, she wants to have this proximity, this closeness to white. Because if you see the way she talks, and then her face as well, is giving me she is Cuban, is giving me Latino or Hispanics. In fact, that is what is giving me. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Does she look white, or she's trying to find proximity to whiteness? I literally want to know. Now let's break it down clearly, okay? Black American culture comes from a mix of African traditions, music, spirituality, storytelling, rhymes, the experience of slavery in America, segregation and civil rights movement, ongoing fight for identity, equality, and self-expression. Despite oppression, Black Americans create a strong cultural identity that influences the entire world. Let's talk about their second culture, which is music, where one of the biggest global impacts. Black Americans' culture shapes the modern music, modern genres into spiritual and gospel church-based music. We have the blues, which is plain struggles, storytelling. We also have the jazz, which is improvisation, creativity. We also have the R&B, where the rhymes and blues comes in. And then we also have the hip hop and raps, where the urban storytelling and social commentary actually pulls in. Okay? And then we have the language, which is also known as the expression, the AAVE, where we have Black American culture, which include Black unique dialects, which is the African American vernacular English. We also, which has featured creative slangs and expression, rhyme, speech pattern, strong influence on global internet culture and slangs. So we have the fashion and style, where Black American fashion is boldly expressed and trend settings, where streetwears, cultures, hoodies, sneakers, oversized fits, hairstyle, afro, braids, locks, waves, weaving, influence on luxury and global fashion trend. We have icons like Rihanna as well. We have Kanye West. We have many global fashion trends that started in the Black community. Then we have food, right? Where the traditional Black American food is called soul food, rooted in a survivor during slavery, where common dishes, fried chickens, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread, sweet potatoes, food represent family, community, and world history. We also have the religion and spirituality, where Christianity, especially Black churches, where strong emotions and music worship gospels. The church is more than religion. It is a community center. It is a political space. It is a support system. We have entertainment and acts, where Black Americans have shaped movies, comedy, dance, and visual acts, where dance style, hip hop, break dance, comedy rooted in real life struggles, film and storytelling influence the whole world through Black Americans. And we have icons like, we have the influential figures like Spike Lee, we have Eddie Muffins, etc. Now we have for activism and social justice, where Black American culture includes resilience and activism, where Martin Luther King Jr., we have Malcolm X, okay, which is the Black empowerment. We have the Martin Luther King Jr., which is the non-violence. And then we have Black Lives Matters, which is the modern activist, where the part of the culture is about equality, justice, and identity. We have sports, where Black Americans dominate and influence sports culture, like basketball, football, track and field. We have icons like Michael Jordan. We have LeBron James, where sports also influence fashion, music, and global youth center. We have family and community values. We have strong family bonds, even beyond blood relatives. It takes a village mindset, respect for elders, emphasis on resilience and survival are all innovated by Black Americans. We have education and intellectual culture, where historically education was a tool of liberation, where historically Black colleges and universities, which is the HBCUs, literature, poetry, and scholarship, and where we have key figures like W.E.B. Du Bois, we have Maya and jealous. We have cultural influence of the world, where Black American culturally influence global music, social media trends, dance challenges, fashion industries, languages worldwide. And then here is the final print, right? Where Black American culture is not just one thing, it is power, full mix of history, creativity, struggles, and global influence. It has turned pain into art. It has created global trend. It has shaped modern culture worldwide. So if you see a white woman or someone that is trying to be close to that, someone that is trying to have this proximity with whiteness, coming to say, oh, Black Americans do not have culture. What is their culture? What do they really have? What do they really do? Blah, blah, blah. Just know that all of this is coming from someone that literally do not research, from someone that literally did not even value her own self. You understand? The only thing she value is how she can elevate white folks. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section, and credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I'd like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.